Well, welcome back there. How are you today?
Hello.
It's been about 26 hours since we last went live. But we've got a week chock-a-block full jam-packed with mini sessions for you to get through as much of the courts of the world below as you could so wish. Because there's a lot to get through.
A lot of overdue meetings.
A lot of overdue meetings, a lot of people you want to talk to, a lot of people who want to talk to you. This is home, and unfortunately, as far as campaigns go, this campaign's not too focused on the world below. So now that we're down here, we're going to make the most of it.
Hell yeah.
But I suppose, Raph, last we left off, you found out your best friend from your time in the Inquisition has been given a leadership position within the Inquisition, and it is getting ready to try and kill and overthrow... Hello, Sharon. But there is... There's plots of assassination, there's plots of deceit and
many plots.
Destruction. There are 12 noble houses, including your own.
Plans within plans, political machinations and plots and intrigue. Thank you, Shaz.
You are bad at it.
But yes. So yeah, how did the last we left off that happened? I imagine this is taking place straight away after that.
This is like that night that finishes at the dinner. Most people go home. We can have there something you want to do that night or the following morning. We kind of where we're picking up into.
We later that night, Zamani and Cal will be doing the dream with Trannon. So we can't.
We won't do that.
That happens, and then the next morning, I imagine. Yeah.
Within the world below, what do you wish to do? You've got maybe a couple days before you leave.
Yeah, I would like the morning after. I would like to try and have a meeting with Mother Dearest after finding out quite a few new things.
Okay. You submit a request. She's not too busy, thankfully. It's the day after a big event, so most royal court, no one wants to show up to this sort of thing now because it's the day after a big party. Most people are hungover.
Especially the Tarandins.
Oh, they would not show up unless called on by the queen themselves.
Yeah. Cal's dad is just like, ugh.
They're like the frat house of the noble houses.
Oh god. Yep.
But you find your mother. Simple enough. She's still wandering around the grand hall, like the throne room, getting talking to a few people, talking mostly like the staff. You do see your aunt there as well, who she's kind of like helps the running of the citadel.
Alcinda will approach them. Aunt, mother.
Calacindia, what can I do for you?
I was hoping for a moment of your time, if you're not too preoccupied this morning.
No, things are quite quiet. Let us head to my study. We can talk in private.
Perfect. Does she take note of, like, does she recognize the new stars?
She clocked it at the dinner.
Okay, yeah, she clocked it. Okay, yeah. Cal will just follow her. I imagine he also knows the way, but he will follow her.
Yeah, it's a short trip. It's quite close to the top levels where their bedroom would be, but in a side chamber. It's a very, very well put together study with not a large selection of tomes and texts, but everything in here is extremely prevalent to the running of the kingdom.
Right.
She walks in, she takes off her crown, she just lays it on the table and sits down in the chair. She's in a much more looser flowing gown today. It's much more comfortable and it's still very respectable, but just a bit more.
But just not the same formality and get up as the night before. Yeah.
So please have a seat.
Oh, thank you. Sit down.
So, my boy, what can I do for you?
I suppose that is... I don't know where to start with this, I suppose. There's a few matters. The thing I wish to first bring up is Well, I imagine this is, first of all, the most secure place in the keep still.
One of many, but yes.
I spoke with Arillan.
I suspected this would come to pass. You must have words to say then.
I've had the night to reflect on it and to think on the choices you've made. And I think originally I don't think angry is the right words to use for it, but dismayed at the choice of Arillan being sent on such a task. But as I said, I had the night to think about it. And it is the best move. It is the smartest course of action, is what I would have done in your position. So I can't, in all real sense of it, be too upset on that note. It is quite the task you have set him up with, though.
I think there is no one better for the job. He is the lead assassin of the Inquisition, and the one who would be, one who brought forward the fact to me that you were his next target.
That also was, well, I mean, to be expected, although I wasn't expecting how they would go about it. To be honest, I was expecting them to more try and subdue me and interrogate me and try to extract what I knew and extract the shards.
I suppose they do not care for much of what you know anymore, my boy. They care for the shards. You have at least 3 in your possession now.
True. But that, I think, shows their, well, perhaps their overconfidence, perhaps their lack of care, because if they did not interrogate me, they would not know the location of the others, which I know. But
the Inquisition has always believed they could find them without interference. They probably believe that if you have 3, that they're akin to a beacon to each other, is what we were informed. That one leads to another and so forth. There is a connection.
Not quite. One of them does act like that. It's quite ironic that it was the one under their noses the entire time.
Yes, I had read texts that alluded to part of the Dying God being in the city.
Right.
Most of us had. They had looked through the city. It makes sense where it was.
It makes sense, but like a lot of those stories, it becomes blurred between what is true and the legends of the past.
It makes sense why House Gorzail decided to make us all settle here.
Of course. You were not in on the cathedral's secret, though.
Not formally. If I had known that they had it, I would have told you. Right. I had a suspicion. I did not expect the High Priestess to have. I thought perhaps it was in the catacombs, deep below the Citadel. Not the Citadel, the Cathedral. Or perhaps part of it was somewhere within the Cathedral. It was of inconsequential worry to me because it was the closest to keep an eye on.
Passed down from High Priestess to High Priestess, I suppose. It was always in safe hands, and those forever out of reach of the Inquisition as well.
Yes, the High Priests and Priestesses are shiny or untouchable for the Inquisition. It is difficult to declare heresy on the voice of the Dying God.
Yes, and up until now, the sole person with any real shed of credibility behind them conversing with him, or at least being able to hear his voice.
It was believed House Gorzail could do it. Now we know why, perhaps. Then it was believed that the High Priestesses could do it, and then, since then, only you and Irizillic had figured out the rights.
Well, with a bit of luck, hopefully that'll be the end of that in a short amount of time. Hopefully there won't be a need for one person, instead it can be all of us. But I did speak to House. I'm fucking forgetting the name. The Cathedral House.
Tarabamil.
Tarabamil. I did
Do you want the
speak
doc?
with House Tarabamil. They also did know of the secret.
That does not surprise me. They are more loyal to the cathedral than any other noble houses. They were also, perhaps, what Tara Andin is to Thal Calzir, Tara Bamil was to Gorzael.
Right.
That makes sense.
It does. It does. Also, I wanted to smooth over any. Well, if they had ill will towards me after that.
Hi, Nate.
Hey, Nate, how you going? If they had held any ill will towards me in the shard, I wasn't sure how they'd receive it, but all things considered, they seemed to be quite receptive towards it in my possession, taking it from the High Priestess and the Cathedral.
I think they believe you to be akin to closest to the next High Priestess that would be possible. I think it... Were you born a girl, their allegiance would have been different because they would have seen it as perhaps you ready to take the throne instead of one of your sisters. But they see that as you're not so connected to the crown as you more are to the dying god.
Yes, that is a question, isn't it? But it's good to know that at least they are, well, as much of an ally as most of the great houses. As much as I picked up yesterday, that hasn't exactly become any less murky.
Yeah. Not quite.
Yeah. The areas between who can be trusted and who can still be held at a sword's length away from us.
Most is sword's length, if we're honest.
Of course. Besides House Tarandin, the others are... Well, there are many that would openly pledge towards us, I'm sure, but in secret.
We are lucky to have such a strong connection to Tarandin and Prabha Arthur. Otherwise, our position here would be a bit more tenuous. But we have a strong military and strong warriors of Tarandin.
I'm curious if you anticipate any problem with Chaya Thierry after the assassination
No,
of the Inquisition's
because
leadership.
Arellan has been granted a position by me to lead the Inquisition as part, and he is being married to Thal Calzir, an adoptee no less. He is of little station to his family, but he is the most impressive of his family. A product of them more than a child, but... Oh shit, 1 second, I got a phone call.
Oh, all good.
Hello?
So, while Des has a phone call, how are you guys doing? How are you doing, Nate? What about the Presidels? They good dudes? Lies. Nah, look, opinion has changed on Presidels. They're now decent, respectable people. But how are you doing, Nate? How have you been? Look, bye, Des and Dave. Sydney's a fun place? Ooh. Is it a business trip or are you on holiday? That's cool. Sydney is a nice place. It's the type of place that I would happily go visit, but never live in. You know what I mean? Big work days. Oof. Hey, look, at least it's big work days in a different place, you know? At least it spices up a little bit. Yeah. Living in Sydney is it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much for me.
Hey, sorry about that.
No, you're all good. They're all good.
Let's fix that up. Sorry, package is being delivered. I missed that call. I already missed it once.
Yeah.
But yes, you were talking to your mother about the various families. So yes, Irelin is more a product of his family than he is so much person. I know he had wished to marry Lowborn, but his family saw it as a waste. And they originally, Chiatheri had intended to marry him to Prakath Anavatham to try and strengthen the arcane powers of the Inquisition. But if we can sway Chiatheri as the Inquisition family to our new Inquisition, perhaps be the strongest. Your sister will be in there. She will be no Grand Mistress. I think there needs to be a Grand Master of the Inquisition, and I see perhaps that as the best suited position for you. You are a member of the Inquisition. Always have been for many hundreds of years. Your friend Irelin and your sister, you will have the majority sway of the council, and your only one other in the council is already a fan of you, as they control and are basically, may as well be, for all intents and purposes, a Prabha Atha of, they feed the Yerrickson, Fort Yerrickson. That part of the Inquisition helps domestic control for the crown. Your uncle, Kingslayer, is an issue, but will not be for long. However, I think
I must admit I did
profit.
Sorry.
You can have your moment in a second, Bessa.
Of course.
I think we framed this as a refocusing. We'll make it very apparent that the Inquisition's leaders had attempted a plot on your life, and Irelin Chiatheri of them had found this and brought it to the Crown's attention. And we found a subsect within the Inquisition that were traitors. Those that were truly will flee the city, and those that do not get caught and killed in the process will remain loyal to us, out of either fear or true devotion to you. You have the people of the city. We say there was an assassination attempt on your life that Irelin had stopped and reversed on the leaders and cut out. And she has gathered proof enough of this with your sister. We'll have two, and what will essentially be 3 Thalkalzirs, as Irelin will take our family name. It will also sway Lady Alandir to our side, as, albeit a bit enigmatic and a strategic mind for espionage with her sharp wit, could do us well. And we refocus the Inquisition for its true intent and purpose at the start, not for rooting out heresy, but for restoring the dying god. Who better to lead the charge than the man with 3 shards? You may speak.
I must admit, with the
She is. Cal's mom is a mongrel. She is strategic.
I must admit, with the recent developments with Irelin and Val, I thought that they would have been considered to be the next hand of the Inquisition, either one of them. But myself, that is an interesting proposal.
The Inquisition has always been ruled by 4, with the Grand Master of the Grand Mistress leading the other 3 with the majority vote. I think it is perhaps, how would I put it nicely? Well, Irelin will be capable of fulfilling the slot for the magical side of the city as we so requested. Your sister, she is able to understand and process policy that Kingslayer so rigidly stricts to, and she can help disincentivize some of the older school of thought that needs to be gotten rid of. Meanwhile, it was always up to the Grand Mistress to truly lead the Inquisition's purpose. And the Inquisition's purpose has fallen into being a power player in the city rather than the true purpose of bringing our god back. So I do not have any remorse for it, and I think you will make a fine Grand Master of the Inquisition. It also stops any of the possible dissidents or calls for leadership from you that would see your sister struggle with taking the throne. We unified people with Thalkazir ruling the two pillars of our state, with you also having a strong bind and connection to the cathedral, as you will be the one who restored the god. We will unify the three pillars of the city.
I see you've put a lot of thought into this, which I am glad for. And it saves... It's a very long-winded explanation for myself as I was anticipating to have to give, which would arrive at a similar conclusion that you have reached at to do with all of this. That is... Yeah, exactly.
No, she's not asking at all. But your uncle, Taylor, he was in charge of the expeditions and such, venturing further down into the world below. Your sister Val is perfectly capable of that. Felnia Nerith may as well be, I believe, she is just over 300 and has yet to take a husband. We shall marry her to a Yerexon. A Prabhasa of Yerexon. We cannot marry everyone to a Thalkazir. I do run out of children eventually.
That is
but
true.
If we marry her to a crown loyalist, that means the leadership fully of the Inquisition comes down to my say, and then when I am gone, your say. We fine-tune and refocus the purpose of the Inquisition. We truly focus their attention and resources, not for cutting out people who worship the dying god in the wrong way in their minds, like Ilerada that we wish to marry your sister to. And for what is worth, you shall make a phenomenal Grandmaster. I think perhaps when you find the fourth shard, we announce it. Just curious, how does Cal's mum feel about him marrying his money? It's a setback and a frustration, but there's enough benefits currently to Calacindia, regardless of marriage proposition, that can still be used as leverage.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think what I was about to say. Oh, yes. May I speak openly?
You have always been allowed to speak openly, my child. I'm more than happy to entertain any ideas you put forward.
Right. I do not think that I will at least possess myself another shard. I intend to let others hold them, whilst I have 3, to split them up, share them amongst people that I can trust.
Does the burden grow too much on you?
It is a burden, but it does not grow too much, but I do not wish it to reach that point, because once it hits that point, we will not have a chance to back off. Once I fall off that cliff, there is no coming back from that.
Understood. An unfortunate development. Perhaps a little. I had intended the thought that you would carry all 7. But
however, that does not need to be the story that is spread down here.
No, you will be told to be carrying them all, but I think perhaps it's best that should you return to the world below after leaving soon, through some form of disguise, you must make it appear that you have them. Whatever other colors the shards appear in others' eyes, the stars, you need to illusion them on yourself for public appearances.
I can do that. That is quite achievable. I do intend to let Zamani take the next one. She has been quite persuasive in that manner.
I have
Which,
consent.
once again, does... I know.
I'll let you finish your point, but I will speak mine.
Speak yours.
She is not of elven lineage. The strain on the body, whether it ages you or whether it takes time off your life, you may be sending your betrothed to an early grave by taking one of these shots. You've given one to Trannan, I believe. The stars in his eyes were noticed during the conversation, but he is an elf with strong conviction.
He has left Mount Ondai as well, and will be away from there until it is time for all of the shards to come together. He has agreed to take up on this burden. As for Zamani, I believe that is a choice that she has... I do not even think that she'll let me take all of the shards upon myself.
I do not mean to intend to say you should take them upon yourself. Do not get me wrong, I do not want to see my son wither away into madness. I just have concerns for her capability of holding onto a shard.
She is one of the 3 people in existence currently to have seen the form of the guiding light. She is one of the few people in existence to have seen the true form of an old god, and lived to tell the tale afterwards. It will not be for an extended period of time. It will be temporary. If my plan is correct, then before too long is out, I should have all shards. There are 2 of them that will come to my hands already, once the other 2 have fallen into place. I think I know the location of a 3rd, and Guiding Light is with me. That will be claimed within the next few months, which leaves 1. Now, with the new shard that I have taken from the cathedral, that does allow me some degree of sensing other shards. It will be easier to find it, learn of its location. I do think that we are rapidly approaching the end of our timeline for claiming all of the shards. Those that do hold them outside of myself will only do so for a matter of months, at most.
Thought we might have a little longer.
Why do you say that?
I have something for you that I do not know if you are ready to hear.
What is it?
She walks up to the kind of bookshelf she has, and she takes down this old tome. And you see on the front of it the mark of House Scorzale, the long dead family, the original rulers of the Starless people. She kind of brushes some dust off it gently. She flips to the last page where you can see it's someone's hand scrawled notes. They studied what they had immensely in the city, although they never said what it was or where it was. It is believed that the person who wields the shards is a vessel. Once you have all the chakras of the dying god, it's no coincidence you have taken on a star elven form. And boy, I hope their writings are wrong, but I believe you to be the body of the dying god.
They're not wrong. It's not a conversation that I've wanted to have with anyone yet. But I've known now, since I've took the first shard, that there is no way this ends well for me. And I have put together enough, understood enough to know that this process that I've gone through, the return, it's not been for nothing.
I'd hope to have you a little longer. Do not like you say months.
I wish I had longer as well. But I do not think that we can wait on this. I do not think that we have the luxury of time presented to us. As much as I would want to spend the next few years in happiness,
I don't know. It is a theory of House Corsair.
We don't know, but there is no accounting for what's going to happen once I have all 7 shards. I could cease to exist. I could be torn apart by the raw power of these shards alone, and nothing could happen. We are walking into an unknown, something that I have analyzed, something that I have written and studied and poured hours of thought and research into, and most of the conclusions I've arrived at are grim for myself.
Nobody else knows of this.
No. Elvinus asked me yesterday what I saw my position at court would be in the future, a position I'd hold in the future, and I could not give her a answer because I do not think that I'll be around there for it.
It'd be so much more. It's a guiding light. We'll remember that. This will not be in vain. You are a hero.
Perhaps. But the more that the more I've progressed in my life, the more I just want to be a son, a husband, a father.
It's fair.
But at least I get to be all of those for a bit longer.
I regret every day that I let you go off to Nakinet University. You were too smart for your own good.
Maybe. But sooner or later, someone from our family was going to do it.
I won't tell anybody if you do not want me to. Your father does not know of this. Your siblings do not know of this.
I will tell father. He deserves to know. And I don't even know how to tell his Amari. I don't know how to breach that entire conversation.
You are bringing back the most powerful being in existence. You can make requests. You will have afterlife. Our people will have afterlife. You have eternity to spend with her there. You have eternity to spend with me and the rest of your family.
I look forward to that.
Eternity of peace.
I look forward to seeing Erzilic in that afterlife. For him to know that it is done what he started.
There are many young souls who embarked on their cause in view to not return. I will sing your praises.
It will be glorious. And I will look down upon it with nothing but pride. And I say this, but I want nothing more than to see our people restored.
You're too noble. You are too... She just gets up from her chair and she just walks around the table and she just takes you in her arms. She was like quietly weeping. Just holding on to you.
Cal's just... Tears. This is going to sound awfully cheesy, but I don't think I've asked for a better mother. Queen as you were, you are also the best mother I could have asked for.
Stop. This is too soon. We do not need to be saying our goodbyes yet.
No, I don't.
I had hoped you'd say to me years. I had prayed you would say there is a complication. That it will take centuries to dig up a shard. I am not used to, and I do not think our people are used to. You're so quick.
No. And truth be given to you, Mother, I do not know what Asian Alexander, what any of this will look like once the guiding light is restored to us. All of the plans with the Inquisition could seem so inconsequential at that point.
I assume they will be. The Inquisition was founded to find him. I don't care what the city looks like when you're not in it. Allow me a few selfish months.
That much I can do. I will let you know before they are all in my hands. I will let you know.
Ask something extremely selfish now, perhaps.
Ask what you want.
Very much so like you. Desire some children, so that your legacy is truly lived on. I will promise not to arrange marriages. They can live on the surface. They can live where they'd like. They can do what they'd like. They do not need to take on the family name. Have bastards if you must, but just do not leave me without making me a grandmother. You have Zelly. I adore the child. She is truly one of a kind, but she is not truly yours. She is not of our blood.
No. I'll see what I can do. Truth be told with you, I'll have to speak with Zamani. There's a lot of bridges to cross there beforehand, but... yeah. See what I can do.
Until then, she kind of gets she her eyes. His makeup is just being smeared. You will be assigned Grand Master of the Inquisition. You will see the Inquisition till its last days when the dying god has returned to being the guiding light. I truly hope to be the first face you saw up there when you... It is a horrible thing you're doing to your mother to making her outlive her child, I will say.
Rule of me.
It's cruel, it is selfish, and much more.
But the last time it need to happen. And at least now that we know that we'll see each other on the other side.
Okay, we have.
I will speak. I will speak to father about it. I don't know how he's going to take it, but he deserves to know. But you're right. You're right. We both have important duties to set our minds to as well. And I cannot take away all of your time from ensuring that between now and then everything does not fall into pieces.
The guiding light must have a city, and it's faithful to return to.
Mm-hmm. Precisely. Thank you, Mother.
I trust you with the secret of House Gozael. Do with as you so wish.
Thank you. Till the stars return, Mother.
Shut up with all that foolishness. Just holds you. I care not for the stars. I care not for a god. Call me heretic because I just care for my son.
I don't think I'll ever forget that.
So remember, when you're in the Inquisition, you cannot try and hunt down your mother for heresy.
I'm sure that there'll be a few less targets within the Thalcazia family than what they currently have.
Enough with this. We will not wallow.
No.
We will cherish the last of our time.
Heads held high.
Mum's a heretic. Do your duty, buddy, for the Inquisition.
Yeah. I'm gonna send Darillon. Next target, the Queen. Done.
Heretic.
Heretic.
So, you leave your mother's room, drying your eyes and spending some time learning quite a grim possibility for Cadasindir.
Yeah. Very grim.
The secret of House Gozael.
But also something that he's thought about for a while. It has been on his mind.
What's up next on your agenda for today?
Oh, God. After that, fucking, I didn't know. I mean, cry in his room for a bit. No, I think after that, I would say he'd probably just take a bit of time for himself after that, but he would also try to speak with Taldwin.
Okay.
If he can.
So after taking a bit of time for yourself that day, you make your way to the Grand Libraries of the Crystal Citadel. You see Taldwin's room is quite close to that, and she's already set herself up in the day for a quiet, contemplative study that trying to catch up on reading she's missed in the past 5 years.
Now goes my favorite sister.
I'm well.
Perfect.
What can I do for you, Cadasindir?
Well, I came in to check on you for one. Good to be back.
I have much to catch up on.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I haven't had much time to return to the libraries yet, but hopefully over some of these days.
Perhaps soon.
I did hear quite the story, though. I heard that you turned down a position at the Evening Tide Tower just to save me. Is that true?
I'd gossip
Really?
of the courts. I would not worry about
I
it.
would gossip of the courts. No. I think this is
told
quite
you.
real. I think my sister Taldwin, gave up her dream position, something that she had worked her entire life towards, to save me.
Did Val say this to you?
I know that she would.
Who must I go accusing heresy of?
My lips are sealed. But I am touched, for what it's worth.
You should not be. I did not succeed in it. It was a worthless pursuit.
No, but the
got
idea
captured.
and the attempt. You did, and look, both of us met rather unsightly fates on the surface. You know, one of us was captured, the other one was placed under a ascended saint's, well, spell, I suppose you could call it, effect. Either way, neither of us had our most glamorous fate off there.
So I would not be touched.
But
It
I do.
was a fool's errand.
Yeah, I appreciate your fool's errand. However, that does leave me wondering, what do you intend to do now?
I do not know. I must start anew.
Start anew. I imagine Mother will be pressing upon you to take up some position here within the
She
city.
has proposed a betrothal to that Saladin fellow.
Really? That is, well, I suppose doing your duty. But how do you feel?
I have yet to speak to him. It makes very little difference.
That is true. I am curious then. From your limited time there, what did you think of the surface?
It's too bright.
It is too bright, but it is also interesting. There is a lot of, well, knowledge and information up there that we have long neglected to study.
I did not get much time with it.
No, you didn't. Tell me, what do you know of the archives of Arasan?
I know of their existence. I know there is a small connection to the world below in their archive. An entrance not exceptionally far from one of our outposts. They contain information that they deem world-shattering. Joaquin, I believe they are called.
Right, correct.
Yeah. Sightless and four-armed, see-through magic.
Precisely, they see the weave around them. Quite interesting, actually. But I'm curious, how would you like to visit? Spend some time there?
I do not
During
have
my
time.
travels, do not have time.
No,
And
I have
yet
books
you-
to read.
What about the books there? The ones that a scarce few people
They
currently
do not
can claim that
allow
they've ever-
visitors to the archives.
What if I told that I have good relations with the High Curator, Corsith Cedra, and who offered a limited position there to someone within my family if they wish to take it to study for a time?
Truly?
That is a promise. I said that I would think on it initially because I was unsure of the whole circumstances surrounding yourself, but considering what I've learned and, well, the fact that you had turned down such a position and now are left without it.
I did not need it.
No, of course you don't. You're beyond it, to be honest. I think the Eveningtide Tower is, well, beneath your talents.
All right, you're dabbling in nothing but idle flattery. You're getting your point across well there.
Guilty. But I do have his name here. He's the Holiday book. I would be able to send him a message at any point, if you did wish to accept it. And I do not think that even Mother could be quite as opposed to someone from with our family gaining secrets that few in the world have ever seen with their own two eyes.
I should probably go when I am with child of this Saladin, but
It does have proximity to Burton, his home.
all right. I had intended to work longer on this, but if I'm to be leaving, I suppose I should give it to you now. She just pushes a bunch of books to the side. And you see she takes out these just like hunks of crystal and gem and she places them on the counter. She goes, and you look at, she's got like this perfect anatomically correct sketch of you and Zamani. And she starts almost like drawing signs with her fingers, and the crystals start to grow into like maybe like 12-inch tall figurines of you and Zamani holding hands in wedding attire.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
I'd intended it for the
your
top
sake-
of your cake. That is my wedding present to you. The ancient tradition of our family. Now used to decorate the tops of cakes. How far we've fallen.
How far from our grand days of our crystal shaping of the past. But I do truly appreciate this is a work of art. No, I shan't get too sappy. I know that you.
It is a work of science. It is not art. It is exact measurements and structure.
Right. I've had this debate enough with you to know that it is not smart enough to press upon it, but
I did think I had enjoyed some debates with your ally Macestial. I believe I've solved divinity.
Sorry. You debated Macestial.
Debate is a weak word. I rolled over Macestial and solved divinity.
Right, that sounds more likely, but except for the solved divinity part, what do you mean by solved divinity?
I believe I have cracked what they have done. With the Ascension.
What do you mean? Oh, please tell me. I'm curious.
Well, my current working thesis is that they used the Shard of the Dying God to originally ascend. They took the major domains of the Dying God, and Stelelio took the brunt of her own elven steps on the steps to becoming a star elf, and the thesis of her insanity being linked to the father's memoirs, as they so call it, is incorrect. She is just facing the same sort of consequences because her true form is an obsidian figure with suns for eyes, and suns are just large stars. She just has a big star in each eye. To make it very short.
That is quite an interesting theory. You see that it is, I can say without any scrap of doubt to it, it is proven that the artifact of Ascension is a shard of the Dying God.
So I have cracked divinity.
I don't know if cracked divinity is the right way of putting it. You've explained the Ascension, explained the process of it. Cracked divinity would mean that you've solved what divinity truly is, and I do not think that is something that can be...
That's semantics, you know what I mean. Cracked the ascended divinity, if I have to be specific.
Right.
I have figured it out that they used the artifact of Ascension. They took powers, they got magics, they got many of the domains of the Dying God, and truly used that to empower themselves.
How do you explain the minor gods in that case? The ones who do not exactly draw upon aspects of the guiding light?
Then you know, the guiding light.
Cal realizes he fucked up. Cal looks around. Is there anyone else around?
Like a few archivists, but no one's paying attention.
Cal just goes up and he's just... Of the dying
You
God.
are a snitch.
It is something that I would say more if it were not for certain people within Isenhar Exandia.
That is alright, we do not need to explain it. But the way you explain the minor gods is that they did not ascend under the same pretense as the original four major gods. They were helped via the major gods that helped dilute the divinity, perhaps. They took on minor aspects that are weaker domains, so to speak. Or perhaps they took on domains that was given to them via prayer based on their knowledge, but not innately inherited.
I'm curious, and in terms of if we are to follow along with this, the old gods, as they were, do not have any naturally inherent connection to Rebosa, to the Celestials there in general. How do you explain then how the Ascended is so tightly connected to Rebosa in that case?
Well, we know from their history that they were pulled back beyond they became something akin to an angel. And angels are innately connected to Rebosa. Angels and the like have drawn loyalty to the old gods back when they first took up power, almost like a sworn fealty, like a noble house.
Well, that is the hypothesis that I've been working on the whole time, is that the Ascended, it is better to refer to them as angels, if anything.
It would probably be closer, yes. An archangel of sorts.
Precisely. That makes a lot of sense. I've been trying to, well, hopefully, try to actually ask them that question. I imagine it'd be a little bit difficult, but find veritable proof where I can to back up and support such a claim. But I suppose proof that what the artifact ascension truly is enough.
Yes.
The snitcher.
The snitcher. That's why he's a reputation for a snitch in the family. He accidentally lets shit out.
Look.
Callous-lander.
Callous-lander. This is just more callous-lander. No, that is actually rather interesting and something I have been thinking on. Although it's also, I am very curious, something I have been contemplating over, which I hope never comes to pass, but if all of the Ascended, let's just say, if all of their followers were to start worshipping one of them over the rest, if they were all to dedicate their prayers towards one particular Ascended, how much power could they gain from that? Would it be, well, it wouldn't be close to an old god, but on what level comparable could it be? Would there be enough to separate themselves from the power of the shard, or would they still have to draw upon its powers quite as much? How would they?
I don't believe they do draw upon its powers anymore. I believe they drew upon its powers, and the power gave them access to get empowered via prayer.
Precisely, but I also imagine it does contain. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. I'm always just curious if there's been a level of containment of how much power they can actually hold within them.
I think there is, because any level we have seen miracles and such put through, and appearances, and every bit of it is linked to exerting their will, and the major gods interact more because they get more prayer and the worship and the like to be able to influence things, to be able to appear, because straining their will takes power appearing on the material realm again when they so wish, or empowering their followers like Mercestules takes power.
Right. But my question is there a step beyond major divinity where they're currently at?
I believe so. I believe, purely hypothetically, should one of them consume a shard similar, or if we say the shards are parts of the old gods and the like, if there are more old gods out there, perhaps sealed or slumbering, as some people dictate and say, if a ascended god was to, I suppose, consume one, perhaps they could take its powers.
I think that's,
for example, if Lezefican had the Farwalker for dinner.
I hope not, but I suppose that is quite accurate as to what would happen. It has also been brought to my attention that Lezefican does intend to subsume the worship of the other gods and try to dedicate more towards himself so he can rise to that position. So I have been curious to know what it will exactly bring with it. I do not know how public knowledge would it be about like the whole divine gate and that type of thing, and the whole being pulled beyond it and controlled. Being controlled
pulls. It would be common like that the ascended gods are stuck on Rabosa. No one knows that it's the Great Worm is the problem. No one knows really that. No. They just know it's a force on Rabosa that pulls them there.
Yeah. How much did we find out from our research into it? Because we researched it in the archives. Were we told about the Century Great Worm up there, or was it just that there was this thing called the Divine Gate that held?
Yeah, no, you didn't find out about the Great Worm, I don't believe.
Right. Yes, you see, the Divine Gate on Rabosa is an interesting concept, one I should actually like to hopefully get a bit more insight on if I can, but I'm curious if that could ever be bypassed if one of the Ascended was to accumulate enough power, if they could bypass the Divine Gate. And
I do not think you bypass the Divine Gate. I think you must break a Divine Gate.
Perhaps.
Overload like your ally did with the Sapper Stone.
Sapper Stone and Rabosa, that'll be curious.
Well, I think if the Divine Gate filters the prayer to them, and if they gain enough power, they could, and they force it back on the Divine Gate to push through, they create small holes at a time to make their way through, perhaps. So I think it's purely logical and possible to think that they, if even unified, if all the major gods together had some form of angelic uprising, they could try and shatter the Divine Gate, but I do not know what protects it. That could be something to look into the archives. Oh, like, there's so much I could look into in the archives of Edward Senra.
Well, that's how I came across a lot of the mentions of the Divine Gate was there, and in terms of rituals needed to bind people
Ooh.
to, well, we learned how Samael binds
I
himself
say
here,
this. I say this lightly. I'm excited. It does not happen.
I can
often.
tell. That is your happy face, after all. The way one of
Yes.
your eyebrows slightly twitches up in that direction is...
My eyebrows do not twitch.
They do when you're excited. As much as you can be.
I'll have you know I'm perfectly capable of the full range of emotions as any elf his mother had me tested.
She had you tested. Really?
What's that face for?
Oh no, so that's my quizzical face of astonishment and trying to look deep within and see if I can actually believe that statement.
I could be lying. I'm known to
You
be an
could be
expert
lying.
liar.
You have, because you look exactly the same as you do when you tell the truth.
Yes.
But there is many things on there. I, for one, do look very much forward to your thesis on divinity and the Ascended.
I'd even talked to your ally McKessley about the possibility of you ascending. In fact, that you in theory could have done it with more shots than any of them and gotten probably a stronger result. Or in fact that you could probably steal their domains if you had ascended. You could take multiple shots, you could take the divinity from them, maybe.
It is a funny concept, actually. I have...
It's heresy, but...
Oh, it's heresy, and one that I would never do, but...
It's interesting
hypothetically
heresy.
speaking, it is... Heresy of an interesting flavor, absolutely. One I would never utter publicly outside of talking to you, but...
Yeah.
No, I could very much use these, and if I... Well, the
See, my
chance of different
main
properties
issue, though, is
associated with them,
there's
I
the
believe that some
curacy.
of the ones I have that would enable me to remain tethered to Quenthos and not go beyond.
That's an interesting concept. The problem is in the mythos, and if we're to be believed, the woad was what showed them the ritual and artifact of ascension.
Right.
So you
That
do
is
not
true.
know the ritual of ascension.
No, that is true. However, I'm sure there are traces of it somewhere. I'm sure that we have some...
I believe that Xerxes fellow stole
sort of
most, if not
record.
all of them.
That is true.
Otherwise, we would have other people trying to ascend and finding other shards. As you
No,
said,
but that is also why I'm curious, is that how much did he steal within public knowledge and how much of it still remains within private knowledge? Within the archives of Arisana, for example, do they still retain knowledge of the ritual of ascension?
I do not trust that Xerxes fellow. With the power and domain he holds dominion over, and if he stole the art of ascension, why stay minor divinity?
I have a lot of questions about him. I trust him more than the other Ascended. He, for one, had the foresight to stop any further ascensions, which is more than I can say for the rest of them. He saw the danger inherent in letting mortals reach such positions idly like that. But as for why he remains minor, I think he prefers it that way. Operating within the shadows, keeping to himself, keeping to his followers, changing world events where he can, but not wanting to be in the, well, assuming the full responsibility of being a major god and everything that brings with it. He is an interesting person, though. I have spoken to him. Did you know that he came over with the Guiding Light, with the Dying God?
I did not follow you step by step on the surface. I do apologize. So I did know something of the similar. So I don't trust him. He is not of elven blood. Well, not that we know of. Not that is record.
No, but yet he lives far longer than an elven lifespan.
Yes. I found
do not trust him.
Original book written by Xerxes Stren, which one can assume is perhaps linked.
That is his full name.
Strong conclusion then. And there was, albeit written fiction, there felt like truth to it. I feel he pulls more strings than we're aware of.
Oh, he is undoubtedly far more powerful and capable, and that we have no idea what is true nature is, and I doubt he'll ever let us know, but I am curious.
There is rumor he was the first tiefling.
Now that does bring an interesting prospect with it. If he was the first tiefling. I suppose that does stack up and hold true. See, I'm also curious because I don't know how much I should say there.
Apparently,
No,
there was an old god, not dissimilar to the dying god, who was known to be a god of, well, the hells and more so an executioner. Apparently, he was the firstborn of that god. Well, first.
Right.
Similar. I do not know.
It was the child of the Eye of Ruin who created the tieflings.
That is not what my records have studied. It was one.
When I met with the Eye of Ruin, he referred to Zamani as child of my child. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, Des, that's what the Eye of Ruin did say.
He did say that.
Yeah. Which then has led me to believe that it is his child that led to the creation.
If we were to believe that Eye of Ruin was Boar, the Eye of Ruin was in theory Boar after the dying god came over here, so how did a tiefling come over? With the dying god?
I haven't. Was he a tiefling?
It is described
Always.
in text that he is.
No, but I mean always a tiefling.
In text, it has to be described that he was. Yes.
Right. But as we have found out, there is a lot that texts leave out about him. Quite the enigmatic fellow. It's interesting as well when you take into account that that his brother is one of the regents of Osiris.
That is information I did not know. According to texts in Thiel, though, there is, in theory, 2 old gods that do claim divinity over hell.
Really? 2 of them?
In theory.
In theory. Do you know which ones they are?
I have only ever traced 2 names, the Obsidian Obelisk and the Hangman. The Obsidian Obelisk is known to be the child of the Eye of Ruin, but the Hangman is the other, and that is not a child of the Eye of Ruin.
No, he is brother of the Dawn Watcher, which is one of the brothers of the Dying God.
Yes, it has appeared that the Hangman was, I suppose, the old gods did not make Osiris. Perhaps some of the old gods conquered Osiris, and now perhaps the Hangman did it first, and then the Obsidian Obelisk came along and took over.
Well, I think it's reasonable to assume that, the old gods did not all come to Quenthos, so some of them went to Osiris. That makes sense.
It is believed that the Hangman is just an executioner for the old gods.
I suppose that is a grim but necessary task. It's a shame that there's a lot of this information that we won't really find out on this side of the world quite easily.
I think it is quite simple. You bring back the dying god and we just ask the questions.
There's also that. Which, look, who knows how long that will be? Maybe sooner than we think.
Whenever it will be, will be.
But I'm sure when he does return, you'll have a full list of questions to ask him.
I shall. For example, why 7 shards?
Well, they each represent the 7 chakras.
True, but why is our understanding of chakra the same as an old god's? Surely they should have more than us. They're stronger than us.
That is a good question to ask. Put that to the top of the list.
Also, I suppose another thing is why the shards you have described in your journal are ethereal in nature and look. Where's the flesh?
Well, from my understanding, the physical form of an old god does not. Well, it is the physical form that can return back once the, I suppose, the mental, magical, and the spiritual forms are placed back together. That is inconsequential in the scheme of things. Returning the physical form is not an issue. It is piecing together the other form parts to it.
I very much like to
Allison is
study
playing
the old
the
gods.
the expert question of dodging that one because he knows the fucking answer now.
Yeah, you feel like given enough time and resources, Teldwin might figure it out.
Yep.
Perhaps I will find my answers now, Sandra.
Perhaps you will. Perhaps you'll find more. I mean, you'll probably finish your thesis on the topic of divinity and find something entirely new to study.
I have a few hundred years left ahead of me. I would much like that.
And I should be very eager.
I have time.
You have time. Just so long as you make sure to send me all of the drafts first of what you write. I would very much like to be the first person to see what conclusions you arrive to.
You would make a fine research assistant, brother.
Well, I suppose from prophet to research assistant, that is not quite the step down.
Prophecy has opened for interpretation. I'm not the biggest fan.
No. Prophecies and vision are not as certain as a lot of people would like to believe. That is for sure.
I shall wonder, will it be myself or yours, Zamani, who will bear a half-elf first to Thalkalzir? Or sister? No, sister's marrying a full elf. I get stuck with the half-elf.
Well, I mean, there's still time. If you raise enough objections to Mother, I'm sure she can arrange a nice marriage to one of the other great houses.
I do not care. If anything else, it is a benefit. I will not have to put up with my husband for as long as the others.
That's true. That is actually a very fair point. You still have a few hundred years probably by yourself after he goes.
Exactly. What? Half-elves live to maybe 200. I should still have the last 100 or so years of my life to truly enjoy.
That is a good point, actually. Plus sides to everything.
Why did you come over here again?
Oh, to talk to you and see how you were, but then also to offer you the position at the Archives of Arasandra.
Oh, I accept.
Oh, perfect. I shall send Korseth Cedra a message immediately. Do you want me to speak to Mother about it, or perhaps you should mention it?
I shall do it.
Right.
I shall bring my... I shall make promise to go after the weddings. Perhaps.
Right.
Or maybe before I could come back for the weddings. I should probably, as I said, I should probably go with Child, though. Not that post-haste. We do need heirs now. All of us are now claimed.
Now more than ever. But besides, we have Arcanus on the surface now. It shouldn't be too difficult to get you teleported to and from.
I do not even think it should be too difficult for me to teleport. I've seen a few circles in my travel. If you have circles, I can go there.
Oh, precisely, yeah. Just pulls out his book, gets the one for Burton out. This one here will get you to the...
She kind of looks at... She just runs her finger around it and it just gets traced in crystal and she picks it up and just puts it into this like little, like, almost like laminated pocket. Just...
There you are. And whilst it's still being completed, this is the one eventually for Erael once it is finished.
Yeah. She looks at it again, traces the crystal, just grows in it and pulls it off.
There you are. Let me see, what other ones do I have? Just while I'm here, I may as well pass upon what other ones I've collected from the surface. No, this is the one for the Great Library of Ojikir, if you do want to have that as well.
Sure. And she just takes it.
Takes that. And
You do have one for
this is actually
archives.
I do have the Archives of Arasena. Oh, and this in here is actually for the Archives of Arasena on top of that.
You should probably send them word if I'm going to be going on ahead to that one. They do not seem like the type of people that would allow someone to just teleport in.
That is a good point. I shall let them know to expect you, well, sometime within the future. For us,
the next few weeks, it shouldn't take me too long to
Dad, she does not waste time. Fucking hell.
I do not want to wait my time to go to the archives. I can multitask.
Fair enough. That's fair. All right, I'll send them a message about that as well. Anything else in here that you should probably know? No. I reckon that's most of it. Yes, no, that's so good. Perfect. All right. Well, I shall leave you to your study, and I shall send a message on ahead of you. Best of luck on your research, dear sister.
I won't need it.
Of course not.
She doesn't even look up for when you stand up. She just gets back to her work.
Yeah.
You just walking away carrying this like figurine set of you and Zamani.
Yeah. Look, that is like the most heartfelt emotional conversation that either of them have had, and it touched both of them deeply. Although no one else would know that.
She does not express emotions well.
No. Oh no. Cal will open his book though and turn it to where the page is for Korzeth Cedra, and to start writing in there. Korzeth, it has been a while. I hope you're well. If the offer is still open for someone from within my family to come study and have a position for a time within the archives, my sister, Talwyn, has accepted such an offer. Pending your approval, of course, but I should very much like it if you did accept.
Message comes back. Understood. I shall send Viola to Ariel as promised then.
Perfect. You should be expecting her within the next few weeks. I have given her, I hope you don't mind, the teleportation circle for the archives so she can start there post-haste.
Efficient.
She is most excited and inquisitive.
I look forward to meeting her.
Perfect. All right.
What is next on your agenda?
What is next? Who do I want to see next? Who do I want to see next? You know what? I'm gonna get this out of the way today. I want to see. I was gonna see his dad.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this today or if I wanted to leave some time, but no. You know what? This is the time for emotional stuff. This is the session.
Okay. So you find your father strewn around the castle. Seems to be just kind of at one stage just like jogging around the perimeter.
Mm-hmm. Working off that hangover of yours.
Sweat out the pain.
Oh, of course. It was quite nostalgic to see you and the rest of the Tarandins like that. Glad to see nothing's changed there.
Look, what can I say?
You know how to party.
I do a good job of it. What can I do for you, Cal?
Well, I was hoping to spend some time with my dear father.
Oh, we both know you're not jogging, so what do you want to do? Yeah, you want to get a drink?
I was really hoping you wouldn't invite me to start jogging. I do think that would probably give the wrong impression of me to many people here, looking as stiff and awkward as I do.
Oh, yeah.
But, I don't know, for old time's sake, let's head off into the city somewhere, shall we? Somewhere where we shouldn't be recognized.
That'll be impossible. You stick out about some crowd now, but sure.
I see that. No, that is a good point. That is a good point. I don't really want to be disturbed too much.
I know where to go.
All right, lead the way.
Kind of heads out the main gates of the citadel and beelines to the Tarandin family hold. and starts making his way up to what would have been his bedroom as a child.
Would have Kel been here before?
No, like it looks like unchanged. It still has just like weapons hung up on the wall, like ceremonial suits of armor. You've been in the Tarndin hold. You just haven't been to his old bedroom.
So this is where you are. This is. I'm not even surprised. This is very you.
Yeah, no, this is where I got to know your mother, so to speak.
Oh God, please don't.
Yep, memories and
right.
So love,
the good times of the past.
Still smells the same.
Oh, right. I didn't need to hear that straight away after you said that previous thing, but I suppose that can't be helped, can it?
I'm only teasing. What's up? Why are you the secrecy?
Oh, nothing. I wanted a place to speak with you. I wouldn't have either prying ears and eyes, or people approaching me wishing to speak, or people approaching you wishing to speak, or mother's disapproving gaze coming from the nearby window looking at us.
All things we've grown used to.
How do you think we're doing here? And by that I mean myself and Zamani. Our impressions upon our return.
Look, Zamani is popular among the Tarandins, at least.
Out of all of the great houses, that is the one I hoped that she would bond with the most. Closest to my heart. And to the whole Thalkazir family.
She's getting along well with your siblings. And Mom. She's doing well.
She is. I was surprised that she's been able to make such a good impact on Elvanus.
Elvanus
the two of them
is
seem
a
to get
tough
along.
cookie.
She is. But she is... Well, she will make a fine queen.
She will. She's been training for it for a long time. I wish she'd relax
Absolutely.
every now and then, but you know what? She's happy, I'm happy.
Look, I hope she does find time for that, though. She deserves it. Whether she wants to say so or not. And I do have to, I suppose, thank you for taking good care of Zelia like you have, and the other kids. They are very
Being
fond
a
of you.
grandfather comes naturally to me, I think.
It does, actually. It's kind of, it's as I expected, but also rather delightful to see.
Look, I just wish you guys had started having kids sooner. The fact that none of you have yet is, I maybe have 100 years left, if I'm lucky.
The fact that I was the first one to be engaged is honestly quite the travesty, I think.
Well, no, the engagement for Elvanus has been in the works for a long time.
How long are we talking about here?
Probably about 3.5 years. The courtship has started. They haven't met each other yet, but I'm sure they'll get along.
Of course. By all accounts, he does seem like a wonderful gentleman.
He's a good kid, and Ilarada is a quite neutral house, so it would be nice to have a new ally.
That is true.
A lot of power comes with being the next king. While the queen rules the city, the king is of the people, so to speak, and of the troops. So he did well in his Karzimvir.
That is good.
Wouldn't have made sense to do another Tarandin.
No. As I'm sure delightful as that would have been. But, we speaking about Elvanus needing to fill big shoes, still here. And I say you've been one of the most popular kings we've had.
I've done well. The troops like me. I've probably spent a few more years in the military than I should have.
Well, maybe, but it's paid off. In terms of your kingly role, at least. As you said, gaining the support of the people and of the military, that is all within your domain, and like I said, I think you'll always be remembered as one of the finest.
Thank you. That means a lot. I think you'll be remembered very well, too. You know, I don't think anyone's gonna quite have the legacy you're gonna have.
Maybe.
Where'd you go there?
So how? It's all right. How are you finding Zelly and the kids? They've all actually seemed to have come out to you quite a bit.
No, they're good. They're good. They're very good. They're good kids. That Elren's a really, really good guy. It's a darn shame what happened to them though. Just all up.
It is. I'm trying to be the best to them I can, but well, it's a long way to go. They've been through too much. But they are talented. That much you can't deny. And I dare say that Elrin does remind me of myself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, big nerd.
Oh yeah.
But no, they're having fun looking around the palace. Bring around. We had great fun on the Shatari.
Oh really? How did they take that?
Well, they didn't need a saddle. And they fell off on purpose, I'm pretty sure, twice. They don't... when they hit the ground, it doesn't seem to hurt them, though. So that's good.
No, they do it as a form of entertainment. They jump off the walls of Ariel, and you've seen them. They're high, and fall to the ground, and they find that fun.
No, I think, as I was saying, the higher the fall, the bigger disbursement across the ground they can get.
I've seen them play a game before where they try to see who can create the biggest disbursement of slime. I don't know.
I've gotten good at skipping their rope, though. Still got the fancy feet, you know.
Really? Well, in that case, I hope that you're ready to accept that any day that they ask.
I mean, I haven't turned it down so far.
As soon as they know that you're willing to play that with them, you will be pestered.
They're very nervous, though. It's fucking shame.
They are.
Everything about that. Everything bar them finding you guys. Big shame in their life. So.
I'm glad that we did find them, though. I'm glad that we did. And I'm glad that we can give them a home. And parents. Yeah. And
they'll make great older siblings.
Yeah. And now they have one hell of a good grandfather as well.
You're right. I tell you, I'm gonna have to start traveling more. You need to get that circle fixed and good to go on the surface.
I do. So
every time Ruventier hate me. He'll be the royal ferryman.
Oh God, I think he already hates it. I think part of him regrets ever leaving the Narkanath University.
You should have seen the face Relin made when he had to teleport the convoy up to the surface.
Oh God. Please, let me... I'm sure it was followed by... I'm not that good. I know I teleported a few hundred of you, but I'm really not that talented.
No, it was more... I don't think that's really possible, but I'll see if I can make a gate in the side of the wall and see if we can't just make a little rift appear between the two parts.
Right, and of course he did. And then acted like it was nothing afterwards.
Well, it crumbled behind us, and he said it was his intent to make it permanent on the first strike. That's why he's pulled issue from.
I swear to God.
I think he didn't get quite the nurturing he needed in Shiatheri. Oh, you're frozen. You're really frozen. Hey, you're back.
Hey, what did I miss out on?
He said your father said he didn't really get the nurturing he needed from Shiatheri.
No, they were not. Whilst they took him in, they were not always the best. Well, they were never the best family for him.
You know what I would love to know, though? The fuck is his actual... Where did they find him? How did they find him? Because do you know the amount of rumors I've heard?
I'm curious. What has he told Cal for how he was found? Like,
he's told you many different stories.
Right, he's told me a lot as well. Like, there's not one that he's stuck to the whole time. Like,
no, sometimes it's he was found in the sewers as a small ball of lightning. The other time it was he was a crystal plucked from the roof of the caverns. He was a child found on the streets. There is whatever trauma response, he just doesn't tell people the truth.
Oh, please. You should hear some of the ones he's come up with to me.
Yeah.
He once tried to have me believe him that he was found as a small ball of lightning in the sewers. That... I don't know if anyone would actually believe it, but it's points for creativity, but...
I wonder is there anyone that knows? It's been like a whisper among like the army and the Inquisition before, is, you know, like everyone's making bets, you know.
I wonder how they'll feel when they'll never find out the answer, because my God, will
I don't
he
think
take
he'll
that
ever
with
say
him
it.
to the grave? He'll take it with him to the grave.
It's either
think part
a
of
point
him-
of great secrecy or pride or shame, sure.
I think it's secrecy, but I think there's part of him that enjoys seeing everyone guess and stumble around trying to find out what it is.
Because he's like, no, we're wrong. House Child Theory very strong, but they've only ever adopted one child before. That's him. They never adopted anyone. Most noble houses don't, because they don't carry the blood.
Yes. So there must have been something
I
significant about his
reckon
birth.
that Lady Alandir knows. She has to. It's his mother. Has to know. Do you want to tell anyone?
maybe he was a... Do you think maybe he was perhaps even less of a thing? Maybe he was a bastard within their family.
Could have just been a bastard. I don't know.
And
But
they've created this entire thing to try and hide it. Maybe. I don't know. I've heard that one. That was one that went around during our time in the Inquisition together.
yeah, no.
But
I
then,
heard
you know,
it.
anytime anyone said it a bit too loudly, Zilver just looked at them and they shut the fuck up promptly.
Yeah, she's a scary one.
She terrifies me. I mean, she's a friend, but she still terrifies me.
Well, look, you'll be able to call around the brother-in-law soon.
Yes, I found about that last night.
You should be so lucky.
Yeah. Between you and me, he had wished to marry out of love.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. But then, obviously,
I'm pretty sure Lady Alandir had also heard of that, and it's part of why she was eager to accept the request of your mother.
of
Well, you don't
course.
really deny the request of, I want you to marry the second in line to the throne.
No, that would be a
Wait,
terrible
no.
look for anyone.
Val or Val?
No.
No, Val is a couple seconds older.
I mean, you should know better than me.
I wasn't in the room.
I mean, yes, but you're alive then.
I mean, yeah, but like, no, childbirth. I fainted when Alvanus was born. I don't need to see. I didn't see any from that. I'm good. I don't need to do that again.
Fair enough.
It's my job to stick the damn things in there, not to take them out.
But what about Cal, though? He's still not married.
No, he's getting betrothed. We're just working
Has
on the
it
right
maybe-
candidate.
Right, but there's none that's been made official yet.
No, but Lady Amara of Prabatha is going to be the family he's going to. We know that. We know
Oh,
it's
really?
Yerrickson. We just don't know which Yerrickson.
I'm surprised that there's none that's been made to Caval,
Valkanduma.
I
We tried.
can do a fucking trying to pronounce this. I'm sorry, I'm trying.
They don't have many daughters.
Right.
You.
Right.
Also, your brother is well, he's your brother. We love him.
We do. He is a unique specimen, though, for our family.
He is Thalkazir.
He is Tarandin.
He is definitely one of the Thalkazirs of all time. I guessed it. He's an excellent warrior. He's an excellent warrior.
Oh, which is why I say he's more of a Tarandin than he is a Thalkazir.
Exactly, but that's why I say he's one of the Thalkazirs of all time. He is one of the Thalkazirs of all time.
He is one of the Thalkazirs. Technically speaking, he is one of the Thalkazirs of all time. No,
He'll make
is-
a very good Prabha of that.
He will. He will.
No, we would actually have
It'll be lucky
originally a year Herdayam, but he's just not that good with a bow.
Really?
He's
Are you telling me?
excellent, but he's just not that good with a bow. Spears, javelins, Hand axes.
Oh, I've see. This comes as a shock to me because I always remember hearing the stories of his martial prowess.
Oh no,
Handling
he'd
any
kick
weapon.
your ass. Most weapons.
Oh, he would. Well,
But
if we were to
like,
fight with weapons, if we included magic in that, then I think that.
yeah, no, he's fucked then. But that boy was basically, when it comes to bow, born with 2 backwards hands.
This is potential future ammunition. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll remember that next time he starts to talk shit.
Yeah, that's a great way to get squeezed.
Look, he squeezes me regardless. That bear hug he gave me when he first saw me, I think that almost broke several of my bones.
I could hear the wind escape you.
Could hear the crack of my spine.
Oh, look, as long as it's not the crack of your mind, we're good.
I hope so.
Well, the crack of reality, Talbot's been telling me that happened a little bit with the journal stuff. Cracking of reality around you. That's not a good sign.
No, it's not. Best not to dwell on it, though.
No.
I mean, I dwell on it a lot, but for everyone else, it's best not to dwell on it. I mean, I don't really dwell on it. It's one just it happens and you see it and it's there.
Yeah, you're
so
good.
Can't really not dwell on it.
Just gotta center yourself. Breathe. It'll be all right. You'll do great. I know it. All right, you're kind of disappearing into yourself again. What's up?
Shit.
This is the second time now.
I recently came into the possession of another shard.
I can tell.
As a matter of fact, it was yesterday. I have 3. I have 2 more that were placed in my hands once the other 2 are claimed.
Okay, you're doing well.
I know the location of 1 more, and it will be in my hands within a matter of months, which leaves the other one, which, thanks to this latest shard, I am able to sense the presence of. Or at least the general direction and location of it.
Okay, let's go. That's good news.
It is. It is. Father, why do you think I became a star elf when I did?
Because you couldn't handle being short. What do you mean? You got chosen? Blessing.
A blessing. When all 7 shards are collected, and I claim all 7 of them, there is a large, nay, a very large degree of possibility that this will be the outcome. That my body as a star elf will be used as a vessel for the dying god to return.
So fuck it will. No. Not gonna happen.
Maybe it won't.
No. Trust me, not gonna happen. You're gonna be here a long time. I promise. I won't let it. You got kids, you got a wife. Boy, you will have a life. It's not gonna happen. I will not let that happen to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know how much you'll be able to change that.
Kind of gets close to you, just puts on your face. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Rituals, sentiment, sainthood, doesn't matter. I guarantee you there is no stronger force on this world than my love for you. I will not let that happen to you. You don't gotta cry. You're good. I'm not letting you go anywhere.
Thank you.
No, don't worry.
If I do,
there's no way.
If I do, no. I need you to listen to me, though. If I do, please make sure Zamani, Zelia, all the kids that they are looked after.
I'll make sure you do it yourself.
Please.
Don't worry.
You can't promise that.
I can.
Don't. If it happens, it happens.
Won't. You're gonna be fine. You're doing work for the dying god. You're not getting a bad life because of it.
It's not a bad life. It's what's necessary.
No, it is.
It's
it
what's
is.
necessary.
It is. Faith does not take who you are. Faith is a part of who you are. I'll shatter a god if I gotta. I'll be a heretic, but I won't lose my son. We can find some other bozo to collect 7 shards.
Well,
It's not gonna happen. I love you too, but it's not happening. You don't have my blessing, you don't have my permission, and neither does the fucking dying god, so it's not gonna happen.
Well, how do you feel about that? Dying god, if you're listening.
Oh. Okay.
What does that mean?
I swear it to you. On the words of Tarandin, ours is the protection. I will not stop protecting my son.
If you can't, though, and I need you to listen to me, if you can't,
I hear you.
Do not try to change it. Do not. You know as well as I do that this needs to happen.
Calicindia, I want you to be a boy for a second. I need you to look back to the time when you were but a wee lad and your dad can do anything, because I promise you I can. With this I can.
When I was a boy, I thought that you could do anything in the world.
I will.
That I believed sincerely in my heart that one day I would see you riding a Qatari off into the sunset and returning with the Emperor of Ghoul's head. I thought that was a possibility. I knew that you could do it.
You want it, I'll do it. Just say the word.
That won't be necessary when I am successful, yeah.
You don't have to be a hero. You just have to be Calicindia. You don't have to be the dying god.
Father, I will be Calicindia until that time. Always. I'll be your Calicindia, your son.
Okay.
Yours is the protection, but I need you to protect those that I leave behind as well, regardless of what happens. Please. I need you just to hear. I need you to promise that at the very least.
I swear to you,
regardless.
I will protect. Ours is the protection, on the words of Tarandin. Ours is the protection for everyone. You don't need to worry. No matter the outcome, no matter the situation. Everything will be all right. On my oath. As above, so below. Ours is the protection.
Yes, the protection. I can see why Mother loves your stubbornness.
I will never let anything bad come to pass for any of my kids. I once said to someone not so long ago that perhaps going off with Irazilic, I missed the chance to do the greatest thing in my life. But it was with the birth of my children that I realized the greatest bit of my life was yet to come. That's you, that's your sisters. I
Even
thought
Avika.
I was going to be a hero. I thought I was going to be the chosen alongside Irazilic, but no. My journey was to be a father. And so is a father, so is a Tarandin. Ours is the protection. I will not let my son fall in battle to the Emperor of Ghouls. I will not let the vultures, I think they're called, of the surface, pick at the bodies of my children of court. I will not let you go into the dark good night. I will be here, and I will always keep you safe. Because ours is the protection. You are the greatest thing I have ever done. Now come here, as he just pulls you in. Come on, let's get you. Let's get you. I'll get you. You're snotting all over me.
Oh, give me a second. I need to. It's not a good look for the prophet.
Sure. There's a washcloth in there. Just go clean yourself. So, as Calasindir heads into the closet, kind of looks up.
Looks at his reflection in the mirror. Just
No,
looks at
I'm
the
talking.
stars in his eyes.
I'm talking about your father for a second. As you're away, he looks up to the sky. You won't take him. I swear it. And as I now tell you, I rolled a 99. You see a symbol that used to be etched in your hand, etched onto the back of your father's hand. He pulls on a glove.
No.
You're not there. You're not there. You're not there.
No.
You're not there.
No.
You're not there.
You do not.
You're not there. You're not there. A father's words ring true. And a promise was made. You're not there. But as you come out, your father has a big smile and goes, let's go get some food.
You know, it has been a while since I've had those crispy spider legs.
You know what? The Crooked Cauldron, they have good stock. Let's go.
For time's sake.
As you make way down with your father, as laughter fills the streets, a comforting presence, the promise to keep you safe. I think that's a perfect place to end the session.
That is, like, there's honestly other things, but like
there's other things, but we got Thursday.
It's Thursday. We got Thursday, and that is the perfect place to leave it. Fuck me though. God, that was a perfect ending.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and raid and roll over onto Corsair's Cove. We'll see you next time, but thanks for hanging out.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
It's great to have you here.